A supercomputer just ran the entire World Cup 25,000 times. It played every match, every upset, every penalty shootout, 25,000 whole tournaments start to finish. And it spit out one cold, brutal ranking of who actually wins this thing in 2026. Some of these numbers will make you angry. One of them honestly broke my brain. Because the team you think is a lock to win, the model barely rates them at all. And a team you've already written off is about to become your new favorite. This is the 2026 World Cup, ranked by cold hard math. Stick with me to the end. Because the real story isn't who finishes number one. It's the team the computer got completely wrong. Quick context because this number matters. This is the biggest World Cup in history. 48 teams, 3 host countries, the United States, Canada, and Mexico. More games, more chaos, more chances for a giant to fall than ever before. Every pundit has a hot take, every fan swears their team is due, it's pure chaos. So how do you cut through all of that noise? You ask a machine that has no feelings at all. It's called the Opta supercomputer, and it does not guess. It takes every team's real strength and simulates the whole tournament, over and over. Then it counts how often each team actually lifts the trophy. That percentage is their true chance. No hype, no nostalgia, no your favorite player bias, just the math. So let's count it down, from the dangerous outsiders all the way to the favorite. Here we go. We start with the dark horses, the teams the model says could shock the entire planet. And right here is where it gets personal for a lot of you watching in America. Because for the first time in a generation, the United States are hosting the World Cup, on home soil. The whole country is about to fall in love with this team, so what does the model actually give them? 1.2%, around 15th out of 48 teams. Brutal, right? But hold that thought, because that tiny number is hiding something big. And I promise, by the end of this video you'll see the USA completely differently. Just above them sit the outsiders the model genuinely respects. Morocco, who stunned the world by reaching the semifinals last time, still dangerous. Croatia, the tiny nation that just refuses to die in big tournaments. And the Netherlands, lurking at 3.6% with real quality. Don't sleep on them. Then there's Belgium, the last of a fading golden generation at 2.4%. And Colombia, full of flair and confidence after a brilliant run, sitting just behind them. Now here's something the headlines keep forgetting. There are 3 host nations, not one. Mexico, at around 1%, are throwing the biggest party in football and they always show up. And Canada, the quiet co-hosts, sneaking up with a fearless young team nobody wants to draw. 3 home crowds, 3 sets of underdogs. Hold on to that because it matters at the very end. But here's the part nobody's talking about. The biggest names in football are not where you think. Because next, we hit the giants, and the very first giant is an absolute gut punch. Brazil, 5-time champions, the most successful nation in the history of this sport. The country that gave us Pele, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho. Football is basically their religion. And the supercomputer gives them just 6.6%, 6th place. That is their lowest pre-tournament rating in the entire Opta era. Let that sink in. The kings of football ranked behind teams they used to beat in their sleep. Why? The magic is still there, but the defense leaks, and Europe has simply caught up. The era is shifting. And the pressure on Brazil is unlike anything else in sport. For them, 2nd place is a failure. If anyone can ignore a computer and just turn it on when it matters though, it's Brazil. Never write them off. Just ahead of Brazil, Germany. 4-time winners, quietly rebuilding at 5.1%. A proud machine that crashed out early twice in a row, now desperate to prove it's back. And Portugal, riding one last run with their golden generation at 7%. 5th overall. Stacked with talent, but always one question hangs over them. Can the old guard finally deliver? For some of these legends, this is the last World Cup of their careers. The clock is ticking loudly. Okay, Deep breath, because we are about to walk into the top 4, and it is absolutely loaded. But before I reveal the favorite, ask yourself one simple question: where are the champions? The reigning World Cup winners, the team sitting on top of the entire planet right now. Surely they're number 1? Let's find out. Number 4, Argentina, the defending champions led by the greatest of all time. 10.4%, still elite, but only 4th. The model thinks their golden window is closing fast. An aging squad, one last dance, and a whole nation praying for a perfect goodbye. Never count them out. Champions know how to win ugly when it matters most. And think about this. The champions of the world only rank 4th. That tells you how stacked this top group really is. Number 3, England, 11.2%. Forever the nearly men of world football. The talent is genuinely frightening. Young, fast, fearless, deep in every position. But the trophy cabinet has stayed painfully empty since 1966. The pressure is enormous. 60 years of hurt, of penalty heartbreak, of so close yet so far. The whole nation feels it. If they ever stop fearing the moment, they win it. That's always been the riddle. Number 2, France, 13%, a machine that simply refuses to stop reloading. 2 World Cup finals in the last 3 tournaments, the deepest pool of talent on earth. Pace, power, and a superstar who can win any game on his own in a single second. They lose a superstar and replace him with another superstar. It's almost unfair. If anyone is going to drag this trophy away from the favorite, it is France. Which leaves number 1, the single team the supercomputer trusts above everybody else. And honestly, the moment you see the gap between them and everyone else, you'll understand exactly why. This team didn't just qualify, they've been quietly dismantling the best sides in the world for 2 years. Spain, 16.1%, the clear, undisputed favorite to win the whole thing. That is a full 3 points clear of France. In a field of 48 teams, that gap is gigantic. So why Spain? It comes down to total control. They keep the ball and never let you breathe. You spend 90 minutes chasing a shadow, and then they punish one tiny mistake. And the scary part? It's a young, fearless core that already knows how to win the big trophies. They don't have one single superstar carrying them. They have a system, and the system never tires. The only real worry? When the chances come, will this young team be ruthless enough to finish? Talent, control, and zero fear. That's why the cold, emotionless math has them on top. So there's your ranking. Spain, France, England, Argentina, Brazil, the mass official favorites. But remember what I promised you at the very start. The real story is who the computer got wrong. And here it finally is. This brilliant machine has one massive blind spot: history. Host nations almost always smash their pre-tournament odds, and the reasons are very real. No long flights, sleeping in your own bed, and a stadium full of 80,000 people screaming your name. Remember the USA back in 2002? Total underdogs, and they stormed into the quarterfinals. So that 1.2%, on home soil with the country behind them, it climbs. Quietly, dangerously. Now let's be honest. Winning the whole trophy is still a massive long shot for the USA. But the round of 16, a deep run that makes the whole country believe, that is absolutely on the table. And it's not just America. Picture Mexico's crowd or Canada's dragging their team past a giant. That is the one thing 25,000 simulations can never truly measure. The supercomputer can simulate the games. What it simply cannot simulate is belief. So here's the question I'm leaving you with. Do you trust the cold math or the magic of the moment? Drop the team you think actually wins it in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want me to break down every single group and the road to the final, that video is next. Don't miss it.